Your roadmap to the latest in auto? Welcome to Highway Herald. What began as a U.S. push to protect manufacturing has sparked a global standoff. In early 2025, tariffs targeting imported vehicles triggered fierce retaliation. France is boosting its EV game, Germany is countering with tech diplomacy, and Denmark blacklisted Tesla entirely. Once dominant U.S. brands now face exclusion. As alliances fracture and strategies shift, the auto industry is speeding toward a turbulent new era. Buckle up. Here's what's fueling the shakeup. Tariffs trigger the trade quake. The opening salvo came in early 2025 when the Trump administration imposed a sweeping 25% tariff on imported vehicles and automotive parts. Framed as a bold effort to resuscitate U.S. manufacturing and tackle trade deficits, the move was positioned as a patriotic pivot toward domestic production. But instead of reigniting industry strength, it ignited a global chain reaction that revealed just how deeply interconnected the modern auto industry really is. European powerhouses, Germany, France, and Denmark, didn't flinch. They struck back swiftly as the European Union authorized counter-tariffs worth 18 billion euros targeting a wide range of U.S. exports, from pickup trucks to soybeans. American automakers like GM and Ford, who rely on intricate international supply chains, felt the pressure almost immediately. Component costs spiked, production schedules unraveled, and consumer prices surged, causing headaches for dealerships and buyers alike. But the damage wasn't confined to balance sheets. It sparked widespread strategic instability. Investors grew wary, and automakers began weighing drastic decisions, from offshoring final assembly to downsizing operations. What was meant to be a protective measure became a jolt, shaking an industry built on precision, timing, and global integration. Yet the real shakeup wasn't just in trade numbers, it was in how Europe strategically pivoted in response. Europe's realignment in the driver's seat. Europe didn't just retaliate, it recalibrated with purpose. In France, policymakers are going all in on domestic EV giants like Renault and Stellantis. Incentives that once attracted foreign automakers are now being redirected into building a fortified local ecosystem, complete with battery gigafactories, R&D centers, and a rapidly expanding national charging infrastructure. France isn't just aiming to compete in the electric future, it wants to lead it, with every watt and wheel stamped made in France. Germany, Europe's automotive juggernaut, has taken an equally firm stance. Chancellor Olaf Scholz denounced the U.S. tariffs as a direct threat to transatlantic stability and swiftly accelerated talks with Asia and South America to diversify trade alliances. Germany's message is unmistakable. Berlin refuses to be boxed in by unpredictable U.S. policy. Even Denmark, though modest in auto manufacturing, sent a loud message by blacklisting Tesla from national pension investments, citing labor rights and governance issues. The symbolism echoed across Europe, framing Tesla less as a trailblazer and more as a misfit unwilling to play by regional norms. Together, these shifts signal a larger trend. Europe is done being dependent, and U.S. automakers may be the ones left out in the cold. Before we delve deeper, don't forget to subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our drive to bring you expert insights and real-time updates from the world of automotive change. Now let's shift gears to how this is hitting one automaker particularly hard: Tesla's tipping point in Europe. Tesla, once hailed as the future of mobility, is now grappling with a European cold shoulder. Sales have nosedived, down nearly 49% across key markets. Germany, a crown jewel for EV adoption, posted a jaw-dropping 62% slump in Tesla deliveries during Q1 2025 alone. What's causing the burnout? Partly it's cultural. European buyers are growing wary of Tesla's corporate image. Elon Musk's brash persona and controversial political leanings don't sit well in regions that value ethical leadership and social neutrality. Labor unions, a backbone of European industry, have also taken aim at Tesla's practices, amplifying the friction. Add in fierce competition, and Tesla's market share is slipping through its fingers. Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes have rolled out sleek, locally beloved EVs that check all the right boxes. And China's BYD is flooding the market with cost-effective electric options, turning up the heat on Tesla's dominance. For Tesla, this is more than a PR problem. It's an existential one. Europe's rejection sends a clear message. innovation alone isn't enough. To stay in the race, even the biggest disruptors must respect the rules of the road. But it's not just Tesla feeling the heat. The pressure is mounting across the entire US auto industry. American industry on the back foot. As global tariff battles escalate, it's the US auto sector that's absorbing the most punishing blow at home. In 2025 alone, domestic automakers are projected to incur over $108 billion in additional production costs. This financial strain is already visible: higher vehicle prices, tighter profit margins, and a noticeable dip in consumer enthusiasm. Industry stalwarts like Ford and GM are sounding alarms. Manufacturing plants in key regions have trimmed shifts or paused operations altogether, citing soaring input costs and disrupted supply chains. From Michigan to Texas, showroom traffic is thinning, especially for vehicles hit hardest by new import duties. For companies trying to meet electrification targets, this financial gut punch couldn't have come at a more critical time. The ripple effects extend beyond factories. Auto-dependent states like Ohio and Michigan are teetering on the edge of economic instability. Bloomberg analysts warn that up to 80,000 jobs could be lost if these trade skirmishes stretch on, putting election-sensitive regions on high alert. And at the heart of the irony, as Washington champions EV adoption, tariffs on batteries and critical minerals are driving prices skyward. Automakers are left navigating chaos, with no clear route forward. And while the US struggles with policy contradictions, Europe is already forging ahead with a bold and united EV roadmap. The next turn on the global grid. With the EU-US 90-day tariff pause nearing its end, the global auto industry is bracing for impact. If no agreement is reached, automakers face a future defined by fractured markets, soaring costs, and restricted access to crucial materials. Europe isn't waiting. France, Germany, and Denmark are uniting under the EU's Green Mobility Pact, advancing shared charging standards, EV subsidies, and battery tech alliances, creating what many call the EV Autobahn of Europe. The initiative is both strategic and exclusionary, accelerating Europe's lead while sidelining US automakers. Adding pressure, the EU is quietly negotiating a green tech trade corridor with Canada and Mexico. If successful, this alliance would allow tariff-free movement of EVs, batteries, and rare earths, deliberately excluding the United States and shifting global trade gravity further away from American dominance. Tesla, once the face of innovation, is losing ground in Europe due to falling sales, investor concerns, and public image issues. Ford and GM aren't immune either, as tightening supply chains and international uncertainty force tough strategic choices. Unless the US adapts quickly, it risks being boxed out of the very future it once led. Verdict: can US automakers shift gears fast enough? What began as a bold move to protect American jobs has spiraled into a high-speed trade collision. The US auto industry now faces soaring costs, shrinking exports, and dwindling global influence. Tesla is losing traction in Europe, traditional automakers are under pressure, and new trade alliances are forming, without US involvement. The question now: can America pivot fast enough to regain its lead, or is it falling too far behind in the global EV race? The road ahead will reward those with agility, diplomacy, and vision, not just raw horsepower. Your turn behind the wheel. Can US automakers pivot in time, or are they already behind the curve? How will the EU-Canada-Mexico Green Corridor reshape global auto trade? What should Tesla do to win back European buyers, if anything? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to subscribe to Highway Herald for more deep dives, updates, and expert takes on the auto world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.